I asked for lubricated rubbers. These aren't lubricated rubbers, you understand that?
What am I, Masters and Johnson?
He lives on whatever he can catch. Eats them raw, alive maybe.
My name is Luke Top Secret, and I am a YouTube reviewer. Here, I like to talk about all sorts of media, ones that make you laugh, cry, give you nightmares, and make you rage. So, sit on down and enjoy the show, for you're watching Luke Top Secret. The slasher genre is massive, absolutely massive, at its highest back in the 80s, and since then, well, we've come a long way. Argumentally the biggest name in the slasher genre is Friday the 13th, and that's a franchise still loved by many to this day. Since the first in the franchise's release, there have been many, and I mean many, of these so-called movie rip-offs that, rip off Friday the 13th, some of which are downright terrible, others pretty good. Today, I thought we'll take a look at one of those good rip-offs, being The Burning. This is one of my favorites, and I think it deserves some more recognition. Let's check it out. A lot of people will have you believe that The Burning is just another rip-off on Friday the 13th, which, for argument's sake, we'll just say that's true, but as far as those other rip-offs go, The Burning is a very good one and is worth having Cropsy, the main protagonist villain, on the map as being an iconic slasher villain. The movie is set around a bunch of kids who are on some kind of camping trip to a campsite that has a dark history. Ooh, scary. It stars the guy from Seinfeld as a campgoer and a wannabe Christopher Reeve as one of the camp counselors. Well, look at him with that axe. The story of The Burning is pretty much a revenge story. You see, a few years ago at this camp, some kids pulled a prank on one of the counselors. A prank that will lead him to get so horrifically burnt that it pretty much disformed him. 5 years after the burning incident, the victim is then set free to roam the world. His first victim is a female who works in that behind the streets industry, if you know what I'm saying. And this, I guess, gives him the taste for blood, because why else would he kill this person? No reason, just an excuse for gore. We are then teleported to Camp Stonewater, where we meet our new camp people who are probably gonna die. We are shown very early on in the movie that every single male in this movie seems to be horny, and they each have their own eye on a particular girl. There's this one male character named Alfred who just seems to be doing it harder than anyone else. He's having so much trouble getting girls to notice him, and when they do notice him, it's because he's acting all creepy. The guy comes off as a complete perv as he's watching a girl taking a shower and gets busted, and he still wonders why no girls will like him. So now I am getting sleepaway camp vibes. I just thought this guy would start killing off all the female characters just because they wronged him, but that doesn't happen. Instead, by the end of the movie, the guy is just all alone and miserable with no girl to show for it. There's this other character who's all big and tough and bullies poor Alfred. Not so severely like giving him black eyes, but just threatening him. Later that night, all the guys are just hanging out in their cabin talking about girls and balloons, if you know what I'm saying. Alfred, who at this point for whatever reason just has no interest in girls, is just casually looking out the window, looking at nothing, when all of a sudden this face appears and scares the crap out of him. He tries telling everyone, but of course, they just don't believe him.
I saw it was there!
Well, there sure as hell ain't nothing out there now.
There is then this long suspenseful moment where we think this poor kid's gonna die, but it just doesn't happen. Yet. And then we're off canoeing. The canoe trip leads our heroes and two camp counselors to go on out camping, and this is where we hear the urban legend of Cropsy, the mad burnt victim who kills people.
And as he screamed out, burned alive, he cried out, "I will return! I will have my revenge!"
Now, you might be wondering, how does this guy know the story of Cropsy? Well, you'll just have to wait and see. Then, what's meant to be later that night, I say that because it's a whole lot lighter outside, this guy takes this girl out skinny dipping, but she backs away because he's just a creep, and this causes her to become the first victim of Cropsy at camp. That's really sad. The next morning, the guy is questioned by the counselors as to where the girl went, but of course he doesn't tell the truth. Instead, he tries his best to try and find her.
Where
What did she do?
She didn't do anything. She called me a few names, swam back to shore, and I figured she went back with everyone else.
Things only get worse from here. They soon realize that their canoes just magically disappeared overnight. The only logical explanation they can think of is that the missing girl either deliberately or accidentally let them go. Their solution is to make a raft out of some dried up pieces of timber and some grass and put some kids on there and use it to get back to camp to get some more help. Not a bad idea, but no, it's a terrible idea. Tension is running high as everyone's frustrated and exhausted. And this poor guy over here is being interrogated again. Eventually they come across one of their rafts just sitting there in the middle of the lake, just waiting. And this really excites them. If they can use that, it'll be a lot easier to row back to camp than in their makeshift raft. So anyway, they go on over, and this leads to the greatest kills in slasher movie history. Jason and Freddy can't even pull this move up, it's just phenomenal. Later that night, these two are going at it in the middle of the woods under Cropsy's supervision. Big bulky guy goes back to camp to grab some matches because he wants to make his personal campfire. Alfred follows, only to discover the girl has been murdered. Alfred, who witnessed the murder of the bulky guy, goes running back to camp crying to Superman, only to get Superman killed. While Alfred is running for his life from Cropsy, the makeshift raft washes back to where the other survivors are, bodies of the victims included. Now these fellas are running scared, but that's okay because now they've got a raft to use to get back to camp. Alfred gets captured by the burning dude and Superman, Christopher Reeve, is still alive trying to find him. Woohoo, I thought he was dead. The Reeve wannabe goes head to head to Cropsy, axe in hand, and this is where we learn that he was actually one of the kids that pulled the prank on Cropsy, causing him to get so severely burnt. Anyway, Reeve kills Cropsy, axe to the head. What an awesome special effect. Alfred then gets the blowtorch and burns the corpse of Cropsy, rendering him unable to be resurrected for new burning sequels. Damn it, Alfred. The movie then ends as we pan out seeing the corpse burning. Wow, that's cool. Funny that what kills him is what made him strong in the first place. We quickly get Reeve retelling the story urban legend of Cropsy. Why? For effect.
So don't look. He'll see you. Don't breathe. He'll hear you. Don't move. You're dead!
Well, there you guys go. That was The Burning. Now, do you think it deserves to be labelled as a Friday the 13th movie ripoff? Well, that's for you to decide. It has a villain who is disformed. He's out to get revenge due to a past incident at a camp which involved none of the people present at the time. It has a bunch of teenagers who are horny and want to have a quick bang in the woods. The only difference is one of them spawned like 12 sequels and the other one probably only has 12 fans. So, rip-off or not, it is still a very good movie and I think it deserves a remake or, dare I say, a sequel. I want that to happen instead. All I can say is, kids, don't try and have a bang in the woods.